Are you ready to get your life changed? Today's topic is something that came suddenly to me while I was reading something, and it has stayed with me for such a long time. So I thought we should definitely talk about today's life. Today's life, we're going to talk about something that is going to change your life completely. It's going to make you think in such a different way. It's such a big mindset change that it is going to epically change the way you think about yourself, the way you think about your life, the way you live your life currently. So let's talk about the whole topic that I am stressing on, which is asking this one question to yourself of how will I get there? How will I get to the dream life? So if I am somebody who looks at someone who travels, and I always think like, how will I, instead of thinking, oh, I don't have that, oh, I don't have the money for that, or instead of thinking how oh, I wish my parents were richer, I wish my friends had the money, or I wish my partner had the money to take me out, I start thinking, how will I get there? If I want to be a manager, if I want to be a team lead, if I want to make certain money, I constantly think that how will I get there, instead of having this very small mindset, very narrow mindset, thinking that no, I'm supposed to live this particular life, this is my life, this is where it all ends, this is the small bubble that I want to live in, this is how much I grow. Instead of that, start thinking, how will I get to a point where I can afford my own lifestyle, I can afford the way I want to live, I can afford everything that I dreamed of, I can afford to be this person who is rich, who is talented, who is extremely wise and knows everything. I always think about this one thing that keeps coming back in my head, that if it's easier to always feel jealous, and it's easier to always blame our situation, it's easier to be in this victim mentality where you just have this whole thing, right, that okay, I got a heartbreak because I didn't do well, or our world, our whole universe, our whole world, like the people around us, make us feel like it's our mistake that things didn't work out for us. But you know what, there is bigger thing in life. I always think that rejection is redirection. It is directing you to something better, it is directing you to a better place, it's directing you to a much more smarter, wiser, a much more richer place. And it is going to make you feel like it hurts a little when the redirection happens, but it gets amazing with time. You will have to put in the work, right? So start, instead of asking yourself of, oh my god, instead of telling yourself how sad it is that I can't afford it, start asking yourself, what do I do next to get to that point where I can afford the lifestyle that I want to live. There is this lifestyle that I want to live, there are so many brands I want to collaborate with, there's so much that I want to learn, there's so much that I want to grow with. I want to be able to get there where I can be the happiest person alive. And how do I do that? I keep asking myself this question, that how do I get there? How do I get there? I start thinking about me being in this place, right? Start thinking about, say, if I'm a very big fan of Priyanka Chopra, I'm a very big fan of all of these amazing women who have done amazing work in their life, and always look at them and think, how do I get there? How do I get to a place where I am able to do much more work, I'm able to do much more interesting work and provide value to a lot of other people around me? How am I able to, I always ask this question, how do I get there? How do I become the next Priyanka Chopra? How will I, like, what my day would be like, um what my routine would be like, how do I walk, how do I say, live my own life. Okay, hi, I'm gonna say hi to everyone. Hi, uh, hi, hi, Balaji, hello, hi. Okay, great. Yes, I am from India, and I have worked very hard to work on my English. Um, I'm doing great. Thank you for asking. Okay, back to the question. So I consistently keep asking myself this question of how will I get there. So I was somebody who's grown up in like a house where not a lot of people were educated or speaking. Like I studied in a very like small village and like a smaller school, and I did not even know how to speak English, at least until I was in my 12th standard, which is uh, such a big thing, right? By a lot of people speak English at home. I was not one of those people, and I at the age of when I was in my 12th standard, I realized that English was extremely important. So I started putting my effort in to get to that person. So I started aspiring to be this person who is extremely comfortable talking in English and has like a very good professional, if she's in a professional setting or if she's in a friendship setting, if she is like, I started looking at myself as like a TEDx speaker. I started looking at myself as like this person who's able to give like big speeches, who's able to do comparing, uh, who's able to like like be at a point where I can get better in life. So I started thinking of somebody who wants to, if somebody is very good at their English, what do you think they had to do to get there? So they had to start speaking in their broken English, start talking in their, start listening to English songs, start watching English series. So it becomes easier now. So there is Duolingo, which really helps. It's one of my favorite applications. It has helped me learn a little bit of Spanish. So I started using all of this application to better my own game. I started thinking, how do I get there? How do I become the next TEDx speaker? How do I become the next person who is able to stand in front of people and talk? How will I, like, I always wanted to be this person who's able to inspire and guide other people. So I started thinking about these situations. I started putting myself in these situations where I would be extremely comfortable to do that thing. So I started putting myself, and I started thinking, how do I get there? How do I get to a point where I get better with whatever I am? So currently my aspiration, so you always have this potential and aspiring self, right? So you are a certain way that you're living your life right now. You might not be really happy with the salary. You might be not really happy with the kind of dresses you wear, or like your manager is toxic or something. But there is an aspirational self. There is like this potential self that you have, who wants to live a better life, who wants to be this person who probably owns their own business. Like what Imagine like having like multiple businesses. Imagine speaking in like the most beautiful languages, having all the time in the world to do anything and everything you want, whether it is just dancing or singing or going on walks or traveling. Imagine that. If you want to be one of those people, especially like this big people who have done big impact in the world, you have to start thinking about that is your potential. And if I have that potential, how do I get there? How do I get to that position where I am the next biggest travel influencer? Or how do I get to a place where I am the next team manager? Or how do I get to a place where I am the biggest sports person? So if you look at that, no, you always have this aspiration. So people love Virat Kohli, people love Sunil Shetty, people love, like, I love I used to love one of my managers. And then I started asking them question that hey, why don't you tell me, how do I get to this particular place? How do I become the next manager? So how do I become this next sports person? So I learned dancing. So I started asking my teachers, how do I become a better dancer, or maybe a dance teacher? I started asking these questions, and they started, and the most nicest people around you, especially if you are able to attract the right people, they will always guide you in the right direction. They would tell you ki, hey, I put in like 4 or 5 hours of my time. I went to like different contests. So I'm talking this about like a dance situation. So these people will tell you that they practiced all the time, they got their basics right, they participated in different things. Like your managers or your bosses in your professional settings, they will tell you that They consistently worked on themselves, they consistently had the numbers, they always knew how to approach in a meeting. Like communication is one of the biggest thing in a corporate world. If you are in a corporate world and you want to grow, like rapidly grow in a corporate world, your communication is your key. Like I've seen people having all the numbers in the world, knowing so many things, but they are not able to communicate because they haven't worked hard on their communication. Imagine having all the numbers, having knowing why your app has crashed, or knowing why your numbers are down, but now knowing that why you are growing in xyz years, but not being able to communicate that can make you feel so sad and make you feel like it is going to pull you down from what you want to be. So I hope you understand how important it is to get to that stage where you are able to communicate, you are able to live the dream life that you want to live. Now for today, just do this exercise right now with me, whoever is watching right now. Just look at somebody that whose life you want to be. So I actually see all of these influencers who travel a lot, right? So one of my biggest dreams is to travel. So I look at these influencers who travel a lot, and I actually go and research about kind of life they've had, like the struggles they've had. Because one of the things that we usually do is, oh, I saw 1111. Thank you, universe. Okay. One of the things that you usually do is look at the shiny thing, right? We look at people winning awards, we look at people living their best lives, having the biggest houses and planes and etc. etc. Some of them might come from generational wealth, it's just totally fine, which means their parents have worked hard or their grandparents. But there are some people who are self made, who have put in the work themselves to get to a place where they can live the life that they want to live. So start going and researching about what they actually did, the kind of effort they put in. Stop thinking about this shiny award that they won. Start thinking about the effort that they put in. Like I have read Priyanka Chopra's book, and she talks about how at the age of 18 she had entered some beauty contest, and somehow she started creating, like she got into movies, and then she had like a lot happened during the Dawn movie. She was kicked out of the whole industry. She went outside India at like very late in her like for somebody who was that popular, she was kicked out. Like she was kind of blacklisted out of Bollywood, and how she went out of India and created a whole career there. And like she worked so hard at that age also. She was ready to work hard. Even for somebody who is extremely talented, who is extremely well known, she was always willing to work hard. You should be always willing to work hard on thinking of, okay, so if you aspire to have a body of Virat Kohli, or have a body of Sunil Shetty, or all of these people, right? If you have an aspirational body that you look at, start asking questions of what do you think they actually eat? How many times do they work out? Okay, so they might work out for like 15 times a day, or like that seems odd, maybe 3 times a day. But it's for you, it's whatever is in your control. You can do whatever is in your control, right? So you can start working out 1 time a day. You can start going on hikes on the weekends. You can start controlling your food. You can start listening and building that whole thing for yourself, and start asking yourself this question: how do I get to be at this point? How do I become the next Virat Kohli? How do I become the next Sunil Shetty? How do I become next Bumrah? Or whoever your like aspiration is. I am only taking cricketers name because like, oh, how do I become the next Messi or Ronaldo, or whatever sport you like. So I can only think of these particular sports right now. But start asking yourself these questions of how do I become the next XYZ. Like maybe it's a little too late for me to say I want to become Sunil Shetty, but I'll always aspire to have like the like strong body that he has. He is so much older and he still is one of the fittest people I know. So start asking that question, right? Like Mary Com also, she is one of the fittest ladies. Like she has boxed so well. So start asking yourself this question, of how did they get there, and how can I get to that place, how can I build myself into this person that I can get to that place where I'm much more stronger, I'm much more fitter, I have the body, I can eat whatever I want, I'm so strong that I can punch these people who don't support me. How do I get to a place where I am like mentally that strong? I really love all of these businessmen, right? I really businessmen, businesswomen, um, and I start thinking about their mentality a lot. I start thinking about how they think, like um, I think I'm thinking about finance with Sharon, or like all of these people who have created content and who have, I think they have decent money also, right? So they are living this lifestyle. So I saw the influencers that I follow. That person is currently in Thailand and is traveling and also writing their next like story or next movie. Like they're writing that, they were an influencer, so they had to take the effort to figure out how to get to that place. So I aspire to be one of those. I want to be in an international location, taking my how to do better in life courses, how to level up in life courses. I want to be that. I want to be a better life coach someday, who is able to add that value to other people. So for me to get there, it is extremely important right now that I start thinking, how do I get there, instead of thinking, oh my god, when will I get there, or there is so much effort, oh my god, I can't put all of this effort, how do I I'm so jealous of other people. Like an instant mentality, right? It always teaches us, like I think we've grown up like this. It teaches us on thinking, like thinking of jealousy. Like it kind of tells us that if you are not first ranked, then you're not happy. That's what our at least I grew up with. I think most of the Indian people around us will grow up like this, where where we have such a negative and such a small mindset, such a negative mindset, where if you are not at like first rank, then you will not succeed, which is such a sad thing to do, right? If for a child, think of these industries, like think of YouTube, think of Instagram, and think of like all of these people, right? There are so many companies, there are so many platforms where you can actually be extremely rich, extremely talented. There, you think of it as an abundance mindset, you think of it in a way where everybody succeeds. Why does this one influencer get to go to Thailand? I wish I also had the money. I wish I also had the effort. I wish also could take that effort to get there. Start thinking about, how can I get to that place where I am super comfortable with my money, I'm super comfortable traveling on my own, I'm super comfortable being my own self, I'm super comfortable being like the best version of myself, so I can get to a place where I am and how, and I know, so I've made that image for myself, right? This is what I want to be. And then next I start thinking on, how do I actually get there? So what do you think somebody who travels internationally almost every day on, or for a month or something, what kind of lifestyle do they have? So I start thinking about, okay, it's important that if you actually want to be in a place where you are extremely comfortable, so that person needs to have a lot of money, of course. So I will have to figure out how to make that money. I will have to figure out how to stay healthy. Like you can't be sick in like international locations, where, and then you'll not be able to do anything, because neither will you be able to roam around, neither will you able to like actually do these courses, that the thing that I want to do. So I will have to start coming up with things. I will have to start thinking of, how do I get there? Like get your whole energy, get the laser focus, and start thinking about, how do I get there? How do I get to a point where I am extremely rich, extremely popular, extremely fit? The next manager make like 20 lakh per annum, makes like so much more money, dresses well, has like the healthiest body, is able to eat whatever they want, is able to work out the way they want, has the opportunity to live in like huge villas. whatever you want to do. Like, there is no bound to where you have to stop. There is no stop sign. There is never a stop sign. And if you are one of those people who thinks that this is my stop sign, this is only how much I can earn, or this is what I can do, I want you to throw that mentality away, like take it and throw it away, because in 2025 we thrive. We get to a position where we are extremely strong and we can do anything that we want to do. This mindset, right, this small mindset that we can't do anything, we are supposed to own this only, like live this way, and you can't just, like, your life is limited and your life is small, and like all of this negative mindset, that especially the people who put it in you. Like, I think it comes from school and college, where you had to be first rank to be the most educated one. You had to come first in running competitions so that you would be something. Imagine if you came third or something, or even if you came last in your runnings. Imagine if you would have still kept running. If you would have still You might have not reached to like an Olympic stage, but you would have at least become this person who is extremely strong, who is able to stand up for themselves, who has like a kick-ass body, who is so comfortable with their own self, is able to wear what they want, is able to be what they want. And you'll not have this limiting belief that, oh, it's okay, in 30s everybody gains weight. Yes, in 30s everybody gains weight, but the people who work out, who choose to work out, I've seen these people. Like, I have this friend of mine, who should be in her 30s, in her early 30s. Both the husband and wife, they also have a baby, but they have made their life in such a way where they work out, where they travel, where they are able to live a life of their dreams. And I always look at them and I feel so good. First of all, the first thing that you should feel when you look at somebody who's doing better than you is to feel gratitude for them, and to feel good that, oh, that is something that is achievable. Like, I have never seen couples who are extremely fit, who travel together, who own a house, who has a baby at the same time, and while having a baby they do all of this. They own their cars. The friend of mine, she owns a bike, and she rides the bike to office. She rides the bike, she does like bike rides. And when I looked at her, I was like, wow, that is also something that I can do. I aspire to be not all of it, but at least something like her, like to be like a cool mom, right? So when you look at people like this, you start thinking about what their life would have been. They might have, if they are extremely strong, that means they might have gone to the gym every day. Are you ready to do that? Are you ready to go to the gym and become the strong version of yourself who is able to be extremely strong, not just physically, okay, mentally? I keep like, I saw this joke today, if you want to go to the gym, you should just date the trainer and you'll be able to go to the gym. And I was yeah, I smiled for a bit, and then I started thinking, that's how it is, right? You don't have to date the trainer, but you'll have to make that mindset that you have to go to the gym. Like, make it in such a way that it's like a game, it's like something fun, and you are able to do it. Where I always think that, when I started learning to dance, I always used to feel like, oh my god, I have to go to dance on a Friday night. But then I became a person who is currently also helping instruct. Like, I am able, like, I wanted to be that person, right? So the first day I walked into the dance class, I was like, wow, look at them, they are such good dancers. Oh my god, they've won Asia Cup and they're so famous. I was so much in awe of this personality who was standing right in front of me, my teachers. And I started, initially I thought, wow, I wish I'd started dancing. First I went into that whole small loophole that you go, where you are like, oh my god, jealousy, or oh my god, why didn't I do this before, etc, etc. And then I started thinking about, oh, how do I get to that place? I don't have to be the best dancer in the world, I don't have to be that person, but how do I get to a place where I'm really comfortable with my own art? How do I get to a place, especially to do something that I really enjoy doing? How do I get to a place where like being an instructor was never something that I wanted to do. I just wanted to get better at dancing. I also I'll not lie, but I also wanted to win like for like Asia Cup and all of that, right? No, and I started thinking that I've started too late. Like I'm 28 right now. I thought I started too late in my life. I was like, oh, if I started 27, maybe I'll never be able to win. I went into that small loop that you go through. Like, oh, I can't do. Oh my God, how will I be able to do this? Oh my God, such a big competition, etc. And I stopped myself right there and then and started thinking about, why am I being so negative? Why am I being such a small minded person? There is so many, first of all, there are so many competitions that I can participate and win. And even if I don't win, I will always be able to brag about how I participated. I started thinking about, instead of thinking about, when where, oh my God, I did not win it. I started thinking about, how do I get better with my own art? How do I get comfortable with my own self so much that I get to a point where I'm super super happy with it? I started asking myself, how do I get there? How do I get to a place where I'm extremely comfortable dancing and I'm able to do it for living or for fun or for any other way that I want to. Like I started thinking that I used to look at all of these people who dress really well. You've seen all of these actors and actresses who dress like in a certain way and they're so good looking. And I started asking myself, how do I become somebody who is extremely comfortable in their own body, that they are able to wear whatever they want to wear, be the way they want to be extremely comfortable about themselves, and be like bold enough to stand up for yourself, and just be them their self. Like, what you are wearing should not dominate the way you feel about yourself. What you are wearing should not make you uncomfortable. It's your own journey, okay? It's your own journey to get to a place where, again, I keep telling you this, that I've looked up at Priyanka Chopra so much. I've looked at Priyanka Chopra all my life, and I've looked at her, and I've always thought like, oh my God, how do I get to, how can I become Priyanka Chopra? Maybe I never wanted to be this person who wanted to maybe get into movies or something. I wanted to become this person who is extremely comfortable in her body, extremely comfortable. Have you seen Priyanka Chopra in her interviews? Oh my God. Oh my God, she is so confident. You might not be one of those people who is, who likes Priyanka Chopra, but I look up to her and I always think of how confident she is, what she has become today, the way she speaks, the demure way she speaks, how polite she is, how humble she is, how she stands up for herself now. How she is with her partner, how she is with her family. She is so deep rooted, like, she's so aspirational. I always wanted to become like her. Now I don't have to exactly be her, but I want to see myself as somebody who's as confident as Priyanka. As confident, who wants to wear who becomes this person who wants to wear what she wants, who is able to speak her mind, who is able to influence other people to do better in life, who is able to be extremely comfortable in the lifestyle she chooses. Even though she got married outside India and people made so much fun of her and people started talking about how it was a publicity stunt, etc., they it didn't matter to her, right? All this negative noise never mattered to her. She was so focused on her own art, on her own self, on her own family, that it did not matter what other people said. She was this person, and that is such an aspiration to be. That is somebody I look up to. I'm like, wow, look at her. And sadly, as a woman, you'll always be put down by saying, look, okay, sadly, it's like always like, oh, you are this you're a woman, what can you do? Almost all every day hear this. You are a woman, what will you do? But for you, the best revenge is to stay quiet and show them the revenge. Like, show them what you can do. Show these people who do not believe in you. Show these people that you can do much more that they could ever do. Because all of these people who talk about, oh my God, you can't do anything, are the people who will not do anything, who will not be this person who will not take stand for themselves. They will not be this person who wants to, like, who would wear, like, all of these people, no, who talk bad about you, who talk shit about you, will say, oh my god, why you wearing that, or oh my god, why you why you living your life in a certain way, are the people who want to live your life but are not able to because they are not confident enough. If you are confident enough, if you have built yourself enough to be this person who is extremely comfortable with them their self, then I'm proud of you. Hi Kriti, hi. And I always, and you have to constantly go back to this question of what you aspire to be, what you want to be, what is your next goal. Like, we always talk about this way, why our minds keep doing this thing that our mind keeps doing, where you are like, you're just happy because you did a certain thing, because your mind keeps saying ki, okay, you'll be able to do it. Procrastination is a real thing, and I am also one of those people who falls in this trap where I procrastinate, where I am super uncomfortable, and I'm like, oh, I can't do that, oh my god, I'm so sad. Oh. I am also those people. I keep going into this trap over and over again, but I always keep asking myself, okay, fine, if you were not able to do something today, it's all right, it's totally fine. What about tomorrow? How do I get to a place where I'm extremely comfortable with myself, where I am at the stage where I can do I can live my dream life? There is a dream life that everybody has, right? Your dream life might be traveling the world, or having certain amount of money to take care of yourself or your family, your friends, to live a certain kind of life. And for you to get to your dream life, you should constantly keep asking, how do I get there? How do I get to a point where I am super comfortable, first of all, extremely comfortable with my own self, extremely comfortable with the money I make? So I think a lot of people who end up actually making the money that they want to aspire to make, and then get extremely uncomfortable with that money. They don't know how to spend it, they don't know how to invest it. And I've been there, okay? I am telling you from my own experience that I have been there. I have been this person who was not able to understand, what do I do with this money, and how do I handle this? Oh my god, what do I do with this fame? I started going live on Instagram for like the brand that I was working with, and I started getting a lot of uh, uh, okay, I can't read that. Okay, I started getting to a point where I was so so much in my own head. I started thinking about, like, I started getting uncomfortable about it. So I don't think, then I started thinking about this, okay, will Priyanka Chopra get uncomfortable about what she wants to do in life? Will she get uncomfortable about the experience that she's having, the kind of fame she's having? I started uh, Adbhut Asat. Okay. Thank you so much, Mohit. Okay. I've heard that word after such a long time. All right. Start asking yourself this question, that if I want to get to a certain place, so instead of being this person, okay, at that, oh my god, I'm so jealous of these other people who are famous and who are all of this, etc, etc, right, who have so much money, etc, etc. Start thinking about it from this angle. Okay, first of all, how do I get there? Secondly, what kind of hard work that they put in their own life to get to a place where they could actually do it? Like, no, it's like, most of these people will tell you that hard work, like all the effort that you put in goes somewhere, it'll not come back, or you'll not be able to become the best YouTuber in the world, you'll not be able to create your own course someday, you'll not be able to. And these are things that I have heard about myself. I have heard that I will never be able to speak English ever, from my school and my college friends, especially those toxic people. They used to tell me, oh my god, why are you trying so hard? You'll never be able to speak English the way you want to speak. And I think I'm speaking good English right now. I don't think I'm like extremely like professional and very very good at English, but I'm at a very good level. And those people who told me that I can't do it are still at that same level, and they're speaking in their broken English. So I constantly kept asking myself, and how do I get to a place where I am comfortable with myself, especially where it comes to this female bodies, right? Female, so a lot of people will come and tell you to live a certain way, to dress a certain way, to be this one person, that especially if you are from like a strict household, they'll always tell you that you are supposed to live in a certain way. But I hope I hope this serves as a reminder that you can live the life that you want to live, that you aspire to live. Just look at the goal. What do you want to be, and how do you get to that point? How do you become this extremely beautiful version of yourself? How do you become extremely confident in your body, in your workplace, in everything that you want to do? Just keep asking yourself this question: how do I get there? And start working towards how important all these important things, whether it is clothing, work, your work environment, whether it is your upskilling yourself, whether it is dressing a certain way, whether it is speaking a certain language, whether it is owning a certain thing, whatever it is, right? Anything and everything that is there in your control, you should be constantly working on. So you have to constantly work on, say, what kind of food you eat, the kind of workouts you do, the kind of series you watch, the kind of music you hear. So that's something that is there in your control, right? A lot of people tell me, I don't know how to upskill myself, and including me, I was also that person who constantly kept telling myself that I don't know how to upskill myself. Turns out you can upskill yourself from YouTube. YouTube is the biggest platform to do anything. You want to learn editing? Go and Google like 15 different editing skills. You don't have to take any course. Like, YouTube is free. Oh my god. I think some years back on some Teachers Day, I had thanked YouTube for being like the biggest teacher, and YouTube can be your biggest teacher. Spend your time, instead of spending your time on all these platforms that are going to mess with your brain. Spend your time, spend your energy in the right place, and start thinking about how to do something. So, like, ask yourself this question: okay, how do I get to upskill myself? How do I learn to edit better? How do I become much more fitter? What are the lifestyle changes that I should do to be in a better place? How do I become better with my communication? What words are spoken in certain way? If I have seen a lot of people who come with a thick accent, which most of the time gets difficult to understand, or sometimes they get bullied for having that accent. I know, and I have seen it happen. So if you are somebody who's coming with that, so start googling words. And I've done that too. Okay, there are sometimes a lot of words that people will say and I'll not understand. I'll be like, what does that word even mean? I will still go down and like Google these words and ask myself on what these words mean. Always be open to learning, be open to being this person who is able to ask questions, who is able to Google. Like, we have Google. Oh my god, we have Google, we have YouTube and Google will teach you so many things that your teacher in school or college would never teach you. YouTube is your biggest teacher. Start using all these applications for your own advantage. Start using this application for in a way so that it pushes you in the direction where you are extremely comfortable with yourself, extremely, like, this boss bitch that you want to be. Become this person. Show me that you can be this person. Show me what you got. And always start and when you look at an aspiration and when you look at what you want to be, start asking yourself, how do I get there? Okay, I think what is the easy way to speak English? What's the easy way? I don't know there's an easy way to speak English. The best way is to start practicing wherever you are, at whatever level you are. Start using a couple of words here and there and start speaking. Get better with your words, because most of the times people think in a language and speak in a language, which is where a lot of mess ups happen. So you don't have to immediately get to a place where you think in English and you speak in English, but get to this, do these small things. Start listening to English song, watch English stories or movies, series or movie stories, series or movies. Maybe read a newspaper once in a while, read articles, read books. Use whatever English you can. There is always like Duolingo, which will help you learn Hindi to English. There is always, like, I can't wait for Duolingo to sponsor me someday, because I talk about Duolingo too much. start learning, start pushing yourself to learning in a ways. And I promise you, you will mess up. I did too. It's okay to mess up, but you'll get better. Believe in yourself, trust in yourself that you know that you want to do better, right? You want to be better at something. So push yourself a little. It's okay to mess up sometimes, and ask questions, ask people on, is my English getting put in the effort, and start asking people that, am I getting better at what I'm doing, how can I improve. Like when you are ready, when the student is ready, the teacher will come and they will teach you in ways you would not imagine. I Until then, YouTube is your best friend. Learn to pronounce words, learn to speak words, learn to be extremely comfortable when you speak. When you move from one language to another, it gets a little uncomfortable. You reach a stage where you're like, I don't know what words are, and I don't know what that word means in English, and it means in like my native language. And that's totally normal to happen. I hope you know, and I hope you trust yourself enough to get to a stage where you'll get better at your English, where you'll get extremely comfortable at your English, and you are able to speak in like more better than me ever. And all the best on your English speaking journey. Thank you so much for asking a question. It was really nice, Bikram. Okay. All right. Yeah, I think that is what I had for today's live. If I was able to add any value to you today, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. I will be doing all of these lives around 7:30 every day. Please join in. Please subscribe so that you always know I'm doing these lives. Thank you for joining in. Let's level up this year. This 2025, we thrive. See you in the next one. Bye.